Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 5, Book 59, number 333. Narrated by Urwa. Az Zubair said, I met Ubaidah bin Said bin al-As on the day of the battle of Badr, and he was covered with armor, so much that only his eyes were visible. He was surnamed Abu Dart al-Karish. He said, proudly, I am Abu al-Karish. I attacked him with the spear and pierced his eye and he died. I put my foot over his body to pull that spear out. But even then I had to use a great force to take it out as its both ends were bent. Urwa said, later on Allah's apostle asked Az Zubair for the spear and he gave it to him. When Allah's apostle died, Az Zubair took it back. After that Abu Bakr demanded it and he gave it to him. And when Abu Bakr died, Az Zubair took it back. Umar then demanded it from him and he gave it to him. When Umar died, Az Zubair took it back. And then Uthman demanded it from him and he gave it to him. When Uthman was martyred, the spear remained with Ali's offspring. Then Abdullah bin Az Zubair demanded it back, and it remained with him till he was martyred. Volume 5, Book 59, number 334. Narrated by Ubadah bin as-Samit, who was one of the Badr warriors. Allah's apostle said, give me the pledge of allegiance. Volume 5, Book 59, number 335. Narrated by Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, Abu Hudhaifa, one of those who fought the Battle of Badr, with Allah's apostle adopted Salim as his son and married his niece Hind bint al-Ward bin Utbah to him, and Salim was a freed slave of an Ansari woman. Allah's apostle also adopted Zaid as his son. In the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, the custom was that, if one adopted a son, the people would call him by the name of the adopted father whom he would inherit as well. Till Allah revealed, call them, adopted sons, by the names of their fathers. 33.5. Volume 5, Book 59, number 336. Narrated by Rubai bint Muawi. The Prophet came to me after consuming his marriage with me and sat down on my bed as you, the sub-narrator, are sitting now, and small girls were beating the tambourine and singing in lamentation of my father who had been killed on the day of the Battle of Badr. Then one of the girls said, there is a prophet amongst us who knows what will happen tomorrow. The Prophet said to her, do not say this, but go on saying what you have spoken before. Volume 5, Book 59, number 337. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. As below, Hadith 338. Volume 5, Book 59, number 338. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Abu Talha, a companion of Allah's apostle and one of those who fought at Badr together with Allah's apostle, told me that Allah's apostle said, angels do not enter a house in which there is a dog or a picture. He meant the images of creatures that have souls. Volume 5, Book 59, number 339. Narrated by Ali. As below, Hadith 340. Volume 5, Book 59, number 340. Narrated by Ali. I had a she-camel which I got in my share from the booty of the Battle of Badr, and the Prophet had given me another she-camel from the kumis which Allah had bestowed on him that day. And when I intended to celebrate my marriage to Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet, I made an arrangement with a goldsmith from Bani Kainuka, that he should go with me to bring idkir, i.e. a kind of grass used by goldsmiths, which I intended to sell to goldsmiths in order to spend its price on the marriage banquet. While I was collecting ropes and sacks of pack saddles for my 2 she-camels, which were kneeling down beside an Ansari's dwelling, and after collecting what I needed, I suddenly found that the humps of the 2 she-camels had been cut off. and their flanks had been cut open and portions of their livers had been taken out. On seeing that, I could not help weeping. I asked, "Who has done that?" They, i.e. the people, said, "Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib has done it. He is present in this house with some Ansari drinkers, a girl singer, and his friends." The singer said in her song, "O Hamza, get at the fat she-camels." On hearing this, Hamza rushed to his sword and cut of the camels' humps and cut their flanks open and took out portions from their livers. Then I came to the Prophet, with whom Zayd bin Haritha was present. The Prophet noticed my state and asked, "What is the matter?" I said, "O Allah's Apostle, I have never experienced such a day as today. Hamza attacked my 2 she-camels, cut off their humps and cut their flanks open. And he is still present in a house along some drinkers." The Prophet asked for his cloak, put it on, and proceeded, followed by Zayd bin Haritha and myself, till he reached the house where Hamza was. He asked the permission to enter, and he was permitted. The Prophet started blaming Hamza for what he had done. Hamza was drunk and his eyes were red. He looked at the Prophet, then raised his eyes to look at his knees and raised his eaves more to look at his face and then said, "You are not but my father's slaves." When the Prophet understood that Hamza was drunk, he retreated, walking backwards went out and we left with him. Volume 5, Book 59, number 341. Narrated by Ibn Makhl. Ali led the funeral prayer of Sa'al bin Hunayf and said, he was one of the warriors of Badr. Volume 5, Book 59, number 342. Narrated by Abdullah bin Umar. Umar bin al-Khattab said, "When my daughter, Hafsa bint Umar lost her husband Qunayb bin Hudhaifa as Sani, who was one of the companions of Allah's Apostle and had fought in the Battle of Badr and had died in Medina, I met Uthman bin Affan and suggested that he should marry Hafsa, saying, 'If you wish, I will marry Hafsa bint Umar to you.' On that, he said, 'I will think it over.' I waited for a few days and then he said to me, 'I am of the opinion that I shall not marry at present.' Then I met Abu Bakr and said, 'If you wish, I will marry you, Hafsa bint Umar.' He kept quiet and did not give me any reply, and I became more angry with him than I was with Uthman. Some days later, Allah's Apostle demanded her hand in marriage and I married her to him. Later on Abu Bakr met me and said, 'Perhaps you were angry with me when you offered me Hafsa for marriage and I gave no reply to you.' I said, 'Yes.' Abu Bakr said, 'Nothing prevented me from accepting your offer except that I learnt that Allah's Apostle had referred to the issue of Hafsa and I did not want to disclose the secret of Allah's Apostle. But had he, i.e. the Prophet, given her up, I would surely have accepted her.' Volume 5, Book 59, number 343. Narrated by Abu Masud al-Badri. The Prophet said, 'A man spending on his family is a deed of charity.' Volume 5, Book 59, number 344. Narrated by Az Zuhri. I heard Urwa bin Az Zubair talking to Umar bin Abdul Aziz during the latter's governorship at Medina. He said, Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah delayed the Asr prayer when he was the ruler of Al-Kufa. On that, Abu Mas'ud, Uqba bin Amra al-Ansari, the grandfather of Zayd bin Hassan, who was one of the Badr warriors, came in and said to Al-Mughira, 'You know that Gabriel came down and offered the prayer and Allah's Apostle prayed 5 prescribed prayers, and Gabriel said to the Prophet, I have been ordered to do so, i.e. offer these 5 prayers at these fixed stated hours of the day.